Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic and another puzzle by Kaktuslav. Kaktuslav last wowed me, at least, on New Year's Eve with an incredible puzzle, absolutely incredible puzzle. Venice, full of straight blue region sun lines all over it. But now I'm going to have a look at Bidirectional, and this looks like arrows. I haven't actually read the rules of this one. I saw it had 2 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so I'm hoping it won't be too monstrous this evening when I'm recording this one. And I think it's pretty normal, actually. There's a pill, but that's just a 2-digit number. And then this looks like a Nabna dot or something. But we've had lots of recommendations to try this, so I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. Kaktuslav's puzzles are basically always wonderful. And I'll read you the rules in a moment or two's time. Now, what do I have to tell you about today? A quick reminder. Can I show you? I think I can. Do have a look at this really cool Sudoku hunt, which is currently going on over on Patreon. Off by one calendar. There's actually 13 puzzles in all, made by the Paint by Numbers Institute. It is fantastic. The feedback we've been getting on this has been just delightful. So do get stuck in. You've still got loads of time left. The closing date is the 20th of the month, and I wholly commend that to you. Now, another thing I wanted to do today, a bit different. Well, not too different. Sometimes I like to read poetry on the channel. And some of you we've had some recommendations to read a Thomas Hardy poem. And I think this is because Melvin Bragg read this poem on the Today programme, Radio 4 in the UK, and actually started to cry as a result of reading the poem because he found it so moving. And I hope I won't start to cry. That would be probably inappropriate. But I did think it was an absolutely lovely poem, so I am going to attempt to read it to you. I won't do it the justice that Melvin can do. But it's called She to Him. It's actually called She to Him 1. So I think there might have been a second, a follow-up poem to this, and it's by Thomas Hardy. And this is how it goes. When you shall see me lined by tool of time, my lauded beauties carried off from me, my eyes no longer stars as in their prime, my name forgot of maiden fair and free, when in your being heart concedes to mind, and judgment, though you scarce its process know, recalls the excellencies I once enshrined, and you are irked that they have withered so. Remembering that with me lies not the blame, that sportsman time but rears his brood to kill, knowing me in my soul the very same, one who would die to spare you touch of ill, will you not grant to old affection's claim the hand of friendship down life's sunless hill? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And thank you to all those of you who recommended it. We did have a few for that one, actually. And it's not a poem I'd heard before. So that's the wonderful thing about knowledge sharing, isn't it? You discover new things, and that's rather wonderful. Now, I've got a couple of birthdays to do today as well, so let me look at my list. I'm going to try and pronounce this name correctly. I think it's Marsha. It's a Serbian name, I think. But Marsha, you've turned 23 today, and I know this because your boyfriend, is it Najdan, wrote to me telling me that you have watched every video on this channel for 3 years or more. Now that is quite some, that's a lot of videos to watch, so thank you so much for doing that. Najdan is making you raspberry cheesecake. Raspberry cheesecake today. I can get on board with that. But I believe you have an exam, Marsha. So I don't know whether, well, I presume it must be. You must have had it by now. Well, If you haven't had it, best of luck. If you have had it, I hope you've absolutely aced it. And I hope that the raspberry cheesecake is good. Many, many happy returns, and thank you for watching the channel so often. And then we'll go from Belgrade, Serbia to Vancouver, Canada, to say a very happy birthday to Theo from your wife, Amet. Amet says, Theo, that you are the most wonderful, thoughtful, funny man she's ever met, and you deserve the biggest chocolate cake with extra icing. So there you go. I can certainly get on board with that, let me tell you. And Theo, many, many happy returns. Thank you for watching the channel. Now, that's all the news, I think. Probably forgotten something, but can't think what it is. That's the nature of forgetting things. Let's have a look at Bidirectional by the great Kaktuslav. The rules are not going to take long to read, and they are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Digits along an arrow sum to the number in the attached bulb. The 2-digit number is read left to right. I see. So if that was, I don't know if this is possible. I was going to put 21 in. Is that possible? Probably is. Yeah, I think we could do that. That could be 6, 7, 8, couldn't it? 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21. We could put that in there. Most of the other bulbs, if not all of them in fact, are just single digits. So if that was, no, it can't be 3. It could probably be 4. 1, 2, 1. Well, seems plausible. Seems plausible to me. And then digits separated by the yellow dot are not consecutive. So if this digit was a 2, this couldn't be 1 and it couldn't be 3, because that would be too naughty for words and would result in the puzzle being marked incorrect. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I mean, it feels like this is something to do with the sheer volume of digits that have to go on arrows here. I'm not sure where the weak point is, but I'll just tell you some things I'm noticing, and then we can explore where the actual weak points are. I'm noticing that there are a lot of digits in box 5 that are on arrows, and those digits would sum to a minimum of 28, I suppose, because there are 7 of them, and the triangular number for 7, i.e. the minimum we could put in those cells, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and they add up to 28. So it might be that. It might be the sheer... It could even be all the arrows being added up, but it might be... Each of those strings, for example, have to... Oh, no, well, hang on. Right, okay, it's that, but not here, isn't it? Because I've just realised that the minimum sum of 4 different sets... I mean, I haven't just realised this, but I've realised it in the context of this puzzle. The minimum sum of 4 different Sudoku digits is 10. But that's going to matter here. Because the maximum sum of 4 different Sudoku numbers is 30. So in this column, those digits can sum up to a minimum of 10. These digits can sum up to a minimum of 10 if they're 1, 2, 3, and 4, and these digits can sum up to a minimum of 10. So the absolute minimum sum of the arrows emanating from these circles in column 1, the minimum sum is 30, but that's the maximum we could ever put in the circles, because if we filled the circles with 6, 7, 8, 9, that is what we get. So in fact, we don't have to do anything quite as complicated as I was thinking we might have to. We simply know that each of these vertical strings is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. Now, Okay, what I'm going to do with that is the most bizarre thing ever, which is I'm going to put a digit in the grid. Can you see where the said digit is? If you can, well done. I'm slightly surprised I spotted this one, but I believe we can write this digit into the puzzle as a naked single, no less. Because it sees this cell sees a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in its column and a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in its box. So that has to be a 5. Which is then that's going to mean 5 is on an arrow in box 5. It means these two. Maybe we should have a high colour and a low colour in this, do you think? Let's do that. Sometimes this is a nice way to shade puzzles. So we'll do 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s are blue. We'll do 6, 7, 8s and 9s are orange. And we'll do 5 can be green. Okay, and we're going to have to... So have I got this? No, I haven't. I've only got 3 single digits totals in column 8. So the maths is going to be a bit different, isn't it? The maximum sum for those cells is going to be a 7, 8, 9 triple, which is 24. So what do we have? Yeah, we're going to have to leave that one out. Because this can be anything, presumably. It could... No, well, it can't start with a 0. Because 0 isn't a Sudoku digit, but it could start with and be a teenage number. Although, okay, that digit is a 1 or a 2. Sorry, I hadn't thought about this, but that is a 1 or a 2. It can't. This line is only 3 cells long. It can't add up to 30 something. So that is a blue digit. Oh, that doesn't look like it. I am trying to make that blue. It doesn't look like it's gone blue. It looks like it's gone a slightly off brown colour. Okay, let's just congregate those digits then. So what's the minimum sum of those purple digits? It's not going to be as much, is it? Oh, although... Actually, let's just take those to start with. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do this, but because we've got a choice, we could just add the columns, and we could claim that could be a 1, 2, 3 triple, this could be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and this could be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and that would give us 18. But I'm noticing that's not going to work. For example, if I make all the purple digits 1, 2, and 3, you can see I've got too many 1s, 2s, and I've got way too many 1s, 2s, and 3s in row 6. So that's clearly I'm overstating or I'm understating the actual value it's possible to put into purple. I mean, the minimum sum of this sort of Tetris piece in box 5, if I make these 2 digits as big as possible, they could be a 3-4 pair, couldn't they? So this Tetris piece could be 1, 2, 5, 6. That's the minimum it could be, which is 11 and another 3, 14. So 14 here, minimum. Well, if that could be a 1, 2 pair, that might be possible. That's 17. And that could be a 1, 2, 3 triple. That's 23. Oh, we're very close there. So the absolute minimum value of the purples is 23. And sorry, just to explain again how I got that, I did that like this. And I made these a 1, 2, 3 triple. Now, I don't know if that's actually possible. I think it's to do with row 6. I think this digit is where the pressure might be, because that's going to see so many low digits. Let's just think about this then. So it's right. So let's do it logically and diligently. We've established the minimum value for purple is 23. So we can write into these circles they're either 6, 8, 9 or they're 7, 8, 9, but they must include 8 and 9 in these cells here. Now, can we somehow get rid of the degree of freedom that we've got in purple. And I'm wondering about whether I can do it with this digit. Because what we've just established is that these could be a 1-2 pair, or they could be a 1-3 pair, but they can't be any bigger than that. These three in column 7 could be a 1-2-3 triple, or they could be a 1-2-4 triple, but they can't be any bigger than that. So they must have 1 and 2 involved in them. And now, because this digit here must be a 1, 2, 3 or a 4, in this row, this digit is not a 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. I've got, see, the problem here is these could be one bigger as well. If these were 1, 2 and these were 1, 2, 3, then these could be 1, 2, 5, 7 or something like that. But this digit definitely isn't 1, 2 or 5. It is 6 or 7. So if 5 wasn't in here, these could be 1, 2, 6, 7, which is 16. And what did I say the minimum was? 50. Oh, that would still work. That's annoying. So I don't know that 5 is in this Tetris piece here. Okay, but if this digit is 6 or 7, this arrow cell is massive because it's got a 6 or a 7 on the arrow. That digit definitely can't be 5 because what could it be? I suppose we could have a 1 in the very centre of the puzzle and a 1 here. So this digit is at least an 8. And there's no way this can be 4 or 3. And there's no way this can be 5, 6 or 7. So this cell is definitely very tiny. And therefore, I'm going to do it. I'm turning it blue. That digit is definitely orange. Actually, I don't know if I should do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, yeah, okay. So we could perform a similar operation on this arrow, I think. Because only one of these 2 digits can be small, because I've got 3 small already occupied in the box. Yeah, so there's at least a 5 on this arrow. There could be a 6 on it, but there's at least a 5. And in fact, one of the digits on this arrow must be a very small digit, mustn't it? I'm just wondering if you could put 3 on this arrow. 3, 5, 1. Yeah, maybe you can. So I'm not happy with these pencil marks here. The pencil marks were derived from making this an absolute minimum. So I made these a 3, 4. I made these a 3, 4 pair, and then I said, okay, I'll put 1, 2, 5, 6 into this Tetris piece. But I think actually I could put a 3 in here with a 5 and make this a 1. But it's still true to say I've got to have 1 blue digit in this pair of digits here. Because if I didn't, they would be at least a 5 and a 6 on the arrow. So there is 1 low digit, and then 1 digit that could be as low as 5 or could be a 6. But that still means the minimum sum of those 2 cells is 6. The minimum sum of this cell, so this can't be a 4, I suppose, is all I'm getting from that. And then, so 6, so this has to not be as low as 6 now, because we're getting at least 5 plus 1 plus 1 on this arrow. There's something irritating me. Not irritating, there's something bugging me about that, though. Yeah, okay. I think there's a problem here. Because that... If this arrow here, this circle, right? This one I'm flashing on and off. If that circle really is 8, how are we achieving that? And I think we're achieving it in a way. Oh, no. No. Oh, actually, I don't know now. Maybe it is possible, actually. Sorry. I was thinking, because we're going to have a 1 here and a 1 here, which is going to mean the minimum value of this arrow will be a 5 and a 2 here, which is 9. So you can just do it. But you can't make 7. Yeah, that's really interesting. This can't be a 7. Now the reason for that is a little bit complicated, but let's put 7 in and explore why I think that's true. The way you'd have to get to 7 is with a 5-1 pair here and a 1 in this cell. But then this digit's a 2 and this digit's a 2. And I've got 2 plus 2 plus 6 to put into here, which is too many. It's a double-digit number. So this is not 7. It's not possible. Which means this is an A9 pair, which means that is now a 6 or a 7. I'm not making the rhymey joke. I still haven't quite... Can that really be 3? 3, 5, 1, 2, 6. No, it can't. Because it would put 2 9s in. It's something to do with the... I think there's a clean way to view this, but I can't quite grasp it. But I'm seeing all sorts of combinations that just can't work. If this one's 3, again, to keep this arrow down to being a single-digit total, this would have to be a 5-1 pair, which makes this 2, this 6, and this 1, and that would be a 9 as well. So it can't be 3. So now I've got a 1-2 pair there, which is... well, no. No, it doesn't quite do it again, does it? Okay, well, I've got a 1-2 pair in row 6 now, so those two can't be 1 and 2. So they're 3 and 4 on those arrows, which means these are 1 and 2. I love the way this is sort of 2 stars and considered to be totally trivial. It might be extremely trivial if you have the perfect sequencing of thoughts. But if, as I suspect, if you have a normal solve, which is what I'm trying to do, and you don't have a perfect sequence of thoughts, it's not easy to immediately just grok exactly what's going on. At least not easy for me. Yeah, perhaps the point is... Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure that I know what the point is quite yet. Is it possible? No. Okay, these 2 cells in box 5 have to contain a 1 or a 2. Because imagine they didn't. Then this would have to be 3, 5, and this would have to be 1. And that makes this add up to 9, but then this would be a 2, and this would also be a 9. So there is a 1 or a 2 in one of those cells, definitely. Which means these are not 1 and 2. So these are 3 and 4, which means these are not 3 and 4. So this is 1, 2 here. This is 3, 4. Now, do we now need a 5 on this arrow or not? I know it's got 1 of 1 and 2. If it was 6 with that, that couldn't work. Yeah, it does have 5 on it. That's the key, isn't it? So I suspect there's a clean way of proving that very quickly. And maybe that's what I've overlooked. But the way to see it is because this digit's at least 6. If you were to try to put as much as 6 on this arrow here, then this digit... You're going to run out of 1s, effectively, is what's going to happen. You could make this 6, 1, and you could make this 1 and claim that this could be 8, but then this is going to be 2, 7, 1. I mean, it's just nonsense. What? Yeah, I mean, if this has got 6 on it, this becomes at least 7. So this is 9, which requires double 1 here, which makes these, it just makes the total. It makes this arrow then add up to 10. So what we have to do instead is to put 5 into this congregation. So these, yeah, so these arrows now add up to 17. And the way they do that is with 8 plus 3 more plus 6. That's the only way you can keep it down. So we get a 6 there. That's very clever. Wow. And now in row 6, we've got a 7, 8, 9 triple. We've got a 7, 8, 9 on this arrow. Oh, but this arrow's massive, so we don't care. Okay, yeah, and this Tetris, the original Tetris piece I was trying to analyse in box 5, has added up to 15, so I still haven't lost my degree of freedom. I still haven't worked out where that's going away. Or is it the case this is really a 6? I don't know. But somehow this must resolve itself. Unless it's some sort of Sudoku jiggery-pokery that I'm meant to be oh, look, I've got a 1-2 pair in row 7, which I've never seen before. So that's a 3-4 pair, which means, whoops, it means this digit's a 1 or a 2. And now, does that help me? I almost know what the sum of these 2 digits is, because I've got 7 there, and then 3 more there, that's 10. So I could just about get to a 9. If this was 2, 4, then this could be a 7, 9 pair, and I would require a 9 in this domino. But that's okay, so that's not quite doing it either. Let's do some orangification of our big, and here, that's definitely orange, that's definitely orange. All of the rest, oh no, that's not true. Most of the rest of the purples are blue now. In here, we've actually got a green-blue sort of, oh, look, I've got a 1-2 pair there. That's a 5 then. Oh, that's good. that's my shading actually helping me. So this is now not a 5. Right, that's brilliant. This becoming a 5 means I've got a 1-2 pair in column 5, and that means this digit is a 3. Now, when we originally did our minimums, I was banking on this being a 1-2 pair in order to get this to add up to only 23. Well, now, because it's got a 3 here, this is going to have to add up to 24, and everything else is going to have to be minimumed. So, oh, that should be quite a big breakthrough, probably. That's now not a 7, look. Oh, can you get to 28? No, there you go. This digit here, if this was a 2, this pill would add up to at least 28. Now we can't get even 3 9s on that arrow, would only add up to 27. So that's got to be a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1. That's a 2, that's a 1. Oh, I thought that was going to go further. Bobbins. Oh, I don't know then. That's distressing. So 1 is in one of these 2 cells. 3 is in one of those 2 cells. 3 can't be here because there's already a 1, 2, 3, 4 in the column. So that's a 3. That's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 4. Right, look, this arrow now adds up to 9. That's rather beautiful. And this digit can't add up to 8 anymore because this arrow is a 5 plus a 1 or a 2. And this digit is not a 4 anymore by Sudoku. And this arrow can't be a 6 because we're adding at least 3 plus this digit to the 3 that we've got placed in the grid. We could get a 3 in the corner in column 1. We have got a 4 here by Sudoku, so that's another blue digit for the goodies. 4 is in one of those 2 cells in box 2. 1 can be placed. Oh, that's nice. It's not a 3 in the corner, it's a 1 in the corner, because these ones and these quadruples here force the 1 into this cell. 2. That's got to have to be here. That's going to have to be 3. And these are all blue digits. So that digit must be orange because it can't be 5. And it can't be a blue digit. Have we got any more opportunities to do things like that? 5 is in one of those 2 cells. This can't be a 1. It sees a 1 in its row, so we put a 1 in the other corner. Okay. Oh, this is a 7, I see. So that becomes a 6, which means this is a 1 to make the arrow add up, which means this is a 1, this is a 2, that's a 9, that's an 8, and we get a little bit more joy in the grid. That's a 2 now. 2, 1, 2. So this can't be a 6 either now. So it just depends on the order of the 3 and the 4, which one of these is 7 and which one of these is 8. And that's, oh, this 7 is nice. So that's 8, that's 7, that's 9 on the arrow of all things. That's a 7 by Sudoku. And these digits are from 3, 4, and 5. And that's definitely not a 3. And we're adding up to 18 or 19 on the arrow. So these 2 digits are either going to add up to 9 or 10. I bet they'll be double 5. Oh no, they can't be double 5, sorry. No, that's immediately rule outable because of the 5 not being able to go on the arrow there. Oh, okay, 7, 8 pair. This is a 9. So these 2 cells here do add up to 10. Now we must, right, we can get rid of 1, 9, because this can be neither of those. Can we get rid of 2? Yeah, we can get rid of 2, 8, because the 2 in the middle of the grid sees both edges, both purples. Can we get rid of 3, 7? Weirdly, no, I don't think. I think that might be able to be 7, and that might be able to be 3. So let's put that option in. So 7, 3. Now what about 4, 6? This couldn't be 4. So that would have to be 6, and that would have to be 4. Okay, and that's the limit of the options because double 5 is ruled out by the green cell. So this digit has become a blue digit. And this is a 6, 8 pair in row 5, and we can fill it in. And both of those cells are orange. And now 8 is in one of these cells, so we can ask where 8 goes. In row 3, look. It's going to have to be there or there. And actually there's a 9 up here as well. So they are both definitely orange. And it's probably this this Nabna dot, isn't it? That digit's got to be orange because it sees all 4 blues and the green 5. So it is 8 by a process. It's sort of Sudoku forces it to be 8. So in this column, all we've got left to place is blue digits. So down here, this must be a 3, 4 pair. And that makes that digit up there a 2, and that's a 4. And that's a blue digit, of course. And hopefully this is a naked single, that's a green. It sees all the blues and all the oranges, so that's a 5. Those 2, or those 3 therefore, are all orange. So this has got to be 6 or 7. Because it sees 8 and 9, and now this is 8 or 9 and is a 9 because it sees the 8. Sorry, that was the most indirect way of seeing that. What about 4? That's got to be a 4 by Sudoku. So we need a 3 in column 8. That's got to go at the bottom. And then we need a 2, which can go up there. And that digit's now a 6 or a 7. And it is, of course, orange. And that 3 is doing some work. So we get the 3 and the 4. So there's a 4 in one of these two cells. There's a 2 in one of those cells. How is this not resolving itself? It is going to be this dot, isn't it? That's incredible. Wow. 5. Oh, is there a 5 on the dot or something? Is that what we're meant to realise? I don't know. Let's have a look at it then. This dot. I mean, we can see it's from the digits 5, 6, 8, and 9 by Sudoku. And that top digit can't be 8, and that digit can't be 9. I suppose it can't be a 5, 6 pair. That is definitely ruled out. So it has got an 8 or a 9 on it, but not both, because it also can't be an 8, 9 pair. So it's got one of 5 and 6 and one of 8 and 9. I don't know if that's good enough. There's an 8 down here by Sudoku, I'm noticing. There's a 7 in one of these cells by Sudoku. We've got... No, I still don't think I know how this resolves. I know those two added up to 10, didn't they? Okay, what about these digits then? 5, 6, 9. Doesn't look like it's resolved to me. And these are 5, 6, 7. No, it's definitely I definitely don't think this is quite finished yet. Which probably means I've not done my Sudoku, doesn't it? That would be the classic Simon thing to omit. But where are we going to look? This digit is 5 or 6 by Sudoku because it sees a 9. Oh, and it's 5. There you go. That's a 5 apparently. It sees all the high and all the low digits. So that's a green digit. And Sudoku comes to my rescue belatedly again. That's now a 5. So that is a blue. That's a green. Now, has that helped? In this row now, this digit is 6 or 9 and is orange. That's definitely become orange. We need to put a 2 into this column, and that now has to be here, which puts 2 in the corner. Nobody puts 2 in the corner, and we must have in this column also, where's 3 in the column? It's got to be there. So that's 3, that's 4, that's 4, that's 3. That's really important because it's now going to do these arrows. So now we've got an 8 in that corner, a 7 beneath it. That's still going. 7, 6, 5 here, 8, 9 up here, 9 here. 5, 6 makes this a 7, so that's now a 6. Now this arrow works, so that's a relief. We can fill the 5 into green. We can fill the 7 and the 9 into orange. And, okay, that 7 is... No, there's more work, more Sudoku work going on. That's a 6 at the bottom of the... Oh, so that's become a 9. So this can't be 8 now, because that would be too naughty. And that's a 5. By Sudoku, so that's the green 5, that's orange. We've not put 8 in the box, so we can put the 2 8s in, double click the 8s, make sure they're all as orange as can be. This 6 in column 3 has got to go at the top, so 5 goes at the bottom. The 2 5s, we've got all the 5s now. This digit's become a 6, so all the 6s are probably done. Oh no, that's not true. Well, they are now. There we go. That's a 7, which is definitely orange. That's a 7, which is definitely orange. And we haven't put 9 into box number 7. And there is a very beautiful and I suspect somewhat slow way to solve that puzzle. Is it right? Yeah, it is right. Oh, goodness, it's had a lot of solves as well. Yeah, I suspect there is a better way than I found of force. You see, these, it's very suspicious, isn't it, that this set of digits here is a 789 triple. So I think there will have been a way to see that the digits on these arrows, let me try and get them highlighted correctly. I think it's those cells there. Somehow I think we could have proved they had to add up to 24 without me needing to really dig into how these two arrows worked. I mean, somebody asked the other day, do you get cross, or do you find it difficult if you've missed a point and the comments all point out what you've missed? And the answer to that is, yeah, if I found logic that overlooked something beautiful, I get very cross with myself. So you have that opportunity this evening to tell me about that. But if the way to do it was to realise that there was a sort of an imbalance on these two arrows, which forced the 5-6 pair, for example, then I'm quite happy, even if I didn't do it quite as smoothly as I could have done it. It wouldn't be like I'd missed something that would have. I wouldn't have lost the opportunity to show the puzzle in its best light, and that's what I get frustrated if I miss those opportunities. Anyway, do let me know. Do let me know what I've missed. Enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.